Cliff, it is a beautiful day for a game.
Gorgeous,
I think
man.
I'm going to stay and watch the Mets take on the Astros, maybe get a beer, maybe get a dog.
I'm in.
But I think they don't take card.
No.
Do you have any cash on you?
Zero, bro. Left at the hotel, bro.
Gosh darn it, payday is tomorrow. I wonder if they have an ATM, or maybe they got someone that could float me a 10 or a 5 at least?
Yo, somebody.
We're with the Mets, 30 clubs, 15 days, presented by T-Mobile. We're at the spring training home of the New York Mets in Port St. Lucie, Florida, as the Mets begin 2025, Cliff. And look, they generated a lot of headlines. They signed a lot of contracts in the offseason.
Yes, they did.
This team is built to win and win right now.
They really are. I think when you look at what they did offensively and adding Juan Soto, that's a beast to add to your lineup. And I think the offense was already okay. Moving forward, when you look at the starting rotation, the biggest question is when you brought back Sean Manaea, he was going to be the ace of your staff, but he's dealing with that oblique right now. Clay Holmes is trying to, insert himself back into the rotation. Can you stretch him out enough to where he's comfortable leaving camp and feeling like he can be in that starting rotation and give you the 30-plus starts you're looking for? So those are the question marks that you have. If you're going to win the East, you and I both know you need starting pitching to get you there.
Absolutely. And also Frankie Montas is dealing with an injury. We'll talk about those injuries and how they could potentially impact this rotation. But obviously the Mets were a very busy team in the offseason. They re-signed Pete Alonso. But of course, the big contract, Juan Soto, an MLB record 15-year, $765 million deal. His pockets are straight, as the kids say.
Strong.
They are real straight. Speaking of Juan Soto, I asked him about his wild offseason. All right, Juan, it was clearly a busy offseason. How would you describe, now that you're settled in here with the Mets, how would you describe everything that went on in the offseason?
I would say crazy. It's kind of wild with all the teams that show up and having interesting on my service and everything. It was pretty cool, but it was kind of wild too. But at the end of the day, we ended up in a good spot.
You're here now, though, so I want to talk about just you and getting comfortable with the teammates. How's that been for you, just to sort of get acclimated and get yourself comfortable? It's
been pretty good so far. I've been trying to get together with those guys, getting to know those guys, learning about them, and see how they are. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take time to go through it and everything, but I think it's gonna be good.
I want to give you a little dig me session here. All right, this is Game 5. I mean, it's one of the most impressive at bats. So I'm wondering if you could just look at it, take this, and just tell me what you were thinking about during this time. This is Game 5, an epic at bat.
I mean, every pitch, it's like you knew. It's like you knew it was coming, and then you was on everything.
I mean, I was prepared. I was prepared myself. I definitely have wanted that bat since the beginning of the inning. I was going through it. He made great pitches, and I just keep finding it off, hitting the ball, and try to make him frustrated, try to find a weakness.
When did you know that it was that okay, I'm in a good spot now? When in the at-bat did you know that?
Right here, after this changeup. After I followed off that changeup is when I say,
he's like, I'm locked.
You got no chance. Like, literally, he threw his best pitch. He got me off timing. He moved my feet, and I still found it off. I'm like, it's nothing else you can do now.
Juan, when you think about all the drills you do in the cage, the one that I looked at, and I talked to the boys about, your boys, is the one with the knob, and you hit the ball with the knob. Now, is that to sort of get if the knob goes first, then that barrel is coming? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's one of the things we always talk about when my hitting coach created my routine. Troy Gingrich, he built a whole routine with me down in the minor leagues with the Nationals, and he just taught me everything. He's trying to make me go short to the ball and try to get on top of the ball most of the time. Nowadays they're talking about a lot of launch angle and everything, but what it works for me, it's getting on top of the ball, try to get that ball, that back spin that I can that I can help me to
the line drives. The home when you hit the left center gets that backspin.
Yeah, you just keep getting that backspin and you just keep flying.
Yeah.
Instead of getting that top spin or
Right.
that knuckleball, we're trying to get that backspin so the ball can keep going.
Well, we appreciate you giving us a master class in hitting, man. Hopefully people out there, and especially young ball players, can really take advantage. Best of luck to you and the Mets, man. Appreciate the time. Juan Soto with us here.
Francisco, good to see you, man. How you feeling?
I feel fantastic.
Yeah? The smile is back. The smiles don't never leave.
I mean, the teeth are there.
The teeth are
If
good.
I brush my teeth, they're gonna stay there.
Yeah. That is true, and you got to floss.
Yeah, you got to.
So camp is a little bit different this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In a great way.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
A lot of money was thrown around, but rightfully so. They deserve what they got, and they made our team better this year. Yeah, camp looks different, but in a good way.
You know what? I was watching you go through your pregame stuff, and the ringleader is you, smiling, getting everybody going.
Mm-hmm.
You take pride in making sure that you lead that pack.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I take pride in being the same person day in and day out and posting up. And at the end of the day, you do that over the course of the year, people are forced to do the same thing.
Right.
You know, if you have 26 guys that post up and show up every single day and bring the same force, whatever they have that day, good things happen. So I've taken a lot of pride in that.
So what's the one thing you've done in the offseason a little different for your regimen? Anything changed?
Yeah, so this offseason, I actually didn't really take time off. I just went
right at it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw your Instagram. You did a little photo shoot over in
I done photo shoots everywhere.
You know, when you're vibing, right?
I've been doing the same thing. You know, my routines have always been the same since I was 19 years old, and you get a little older, and it is what it is.
That's what it is, huh?
It is what it is.
What it's gonna take for you guys to get you a ring on that finger? What it's gonna take?
We gotta stay together, and we gotta post up.
Post.
We gotta post. You know, you post up every single day, and you don't back down from any challenges that come our way, which they're gonna be a lot. You just gotta attack them. You know, put your head down and attack the challenges.
Yeah, tough NL East, but you ready for it, huh?
It is what it is. You know, it's big leagues. And any given day, anybody can beat you. You know, and you just gotta get an opportunity to go in the playoffs, and anything can happen in a short series.
Anything.
You get punched in the mouth, you look up, and all of a sudden it's like you're home. You know. So
if I had that demeanor when we was playing, boy, I went a long way. Appreciate you, man. Stay healthy, all right?
Yes, thank you.
Bro Flo, back to you, my man.
Mark, how do you view this spring training camp as opposed to previous ones, and especially in light of the season that you had in 2024?
It's for sure a little bit different, especially after last season and how far we got, and just the long season that I had in the big leagues. I was fortunate enough to play a lot and be around a lot of great guys. But I feel like I'm keeping the same mentality. And the great thing is we keep getting better and better players on our team just to keep learning from. And that's what I try to put my focus every single day I come to the field. I'm like, what can I learn new from my teammates that I'm around, from my coaches? And I'm fortunate to have great people.
You mentioned getting better players, and you get Juan Soto this offseason. We spoke to him earlier. My man gave us like a master class in hitting and his philosophy. Has he been able to, impart some of his wisdom to you? I mean, do you talk hitting with him?
I'm going to need you to send me that link so I can watch it, so I can learn something about it too. But
we will.
I've been watching his BP, his routine, and it's no shocker that the way he works in the cage and the way he goes about his business is what makes him the player he is. He's a hard worker. He's come in and been friendly with the guys, the chemistry, and I love him already.
Lastly, we know this team is built to win now. We know the division is very difficult. Just what are your thoughts as you get ready for what should be a challenging, but Met fans are hoping exciting season?
I think every season is a challenge, and especially playing in New York, fans are out and the media and the organization is expecting us to win every single year. So I take every year as a challenge, but I think it gets the best out of us because we stay on our toes. We're not flat-footed.
Well, his teammate Francisco Lindor says this man has the most swag in all of Major League Baseball.
I got a little bit.
There you go. Ooh, I like that. That's very good. Thanks a lot for the time, man. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a quick look at the projected rotation for the New York Mets. We mentioned at the top the injuries to Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas. Paul Blackburn is thrown back into the mix. Remember, he missed all of the postseason dealing with the spinal injury. But keep in mind, no projected starter other than Manaea threw more than 121 innings in 2024.
Pete, man, so good to be back in camp. How you feeling?
Lovely.
Yeah?
It's it's an exciting vibe this year, and it's going to be a really fun camp and hopefully a very successful 2025.
Let's talk about the beast you added and Juan Soto and what he just, obviously he brings a different dynamic, but watching him in the cage and watching some of the things he does, how can he help you as far as just your game and what you do?
Well, I think his best attribute is he's just a game changer. And anytime you get a game changer in the lineup, whether it's having just a quality at bat, moving a runner, or just making that big swing, driving a ball in the gap, or making a play on defense, I mean, he can do it all. And anytime you have those type of players in your lineup, it's sick because I mean, for the past 6 seasons, playing against him, it's been tough because he's always that guy that's coming through. So I'm really stoked that he's going to be on our side now.
No doubt. As far as your game, and we always want to get better, right? It's about getting better every single year and leaving spring healthy. But what's the one thing you want to take out of spring for your game to put you in position? Well, we know the power's there. Do you want to work on like manufacturing or just thinking about some different things in the box?
Honestly, just being consistent, making quality swing decisions. I mean, obviously taking those tough pitches on the black and capitalizing whenever the ball's over the middle of the plate. Doesn't matter the pitch type, but when it shows up over the middle, let it fly, hit it hard forward, and just stay consistent with good swing decisions.
Now, do you pay a lot of attention to the analytics and what they do for you as far as, the analytics are there for us to help us grow, but like, what do you take from it to help you?
To be honest, I think a lot of it, like the exit velos, the launch angles, all of that stuff is I think it's just a result.
Okay.
And for me, I think the best thing I can do is just take good swings at good pitches because all the exit velos, the launch angles, the consistency will be there. So the more that I swing at those balls over the heart of the plate, the more of those like analytics will be there. Then like whether it's attacking like in certain counts or whatever, like you can kind of study that and be prepared for like in-game situations. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is staying within myself and letting the pitcher come to me and miss over the plate.
Lastly, for this team to get to where you want to get to and put that ring on the thing, what it's going to take?
It's going to take everything from everybody, and I think collectively as a group, we shared a lot of success. I mean, with the new guys, they understand the assignment, they understand what the expectations are right from day one, and which is awesome because having that expectation is a privilege. That means that we can accomplish the ultimate goal. We have the ability. We just need to stay consistent every single day and earn that right to go play in the postseason over the 162. It's hard, and then once you get there, capture the moment every single day because things happen quick in the postseason. We found that out over the course, or like on the wrong side and the good side of it. It was a magic run, but I mean, getting to that postseason's electric. There's nothing like it.
For sure. Hey, stay healthy.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. Flow, back to you, big dog.
All right, Carlos, my man here looks like he could at least get you 15 and 70 if necessary. Do you have an open spot in your lineup for a former Met, maybe even current Met, Cliff Floyd?
For sure. I came out of here and I saw him, I was like, man, you look like you can get a bat right now. You know, he looks ready to go. And,
ready, Cliff.
You know what I say? Maybe 2 and 15.
Ooh, 2 and 15? Come on, man.
I mean, that's 2 more than me, Cliff. Hey, we will have much more with the Met skipper on the other side.
Manager interviews are presented by Sage, the official finance software partner of Major League Baseball.
Welcome back. Here's a refresher at what went down in the National League East in 2024. The Phillies were the division champions, and the Mets and Braves battling it out all the way to the final days of the regular season for that 2 spot. Let's hear from the manager, Carlos Mendoza. It is the Sage manager interview. Los, clearly this is the franchise that is used to expectations, used to scrutiny, but it seems like with everything that happened in the offseason, probably a little bit more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, sure. And it's New York, man. You know, the expectations is always going to be high. Last year, I remember around this time, nobody thought that the Mets, we knew we were good. And it's not different this year. Yeah, we went and got Soto. We were able to bring Pete back. You just have to embrace the expectations. And, we know we have a good team. but we also understand that we got work to do, and there's a lot of good teams out there. We still got to go out there on the field, and you got to compete.
What's the one thing other than health? I know you've had some hiccups already, with Manaea and Montas. What's the one thing other than health you want to leave camp with what you're feeling good about?
Just the team chemistry, We added some new faces, whether it's like Juan Soto, we brought, a Clay Holmes and guys like that. Just making sure that they're connecting, that they're building their relationships. We have a very good core, the leadership group from the player side. They're really, really good. But just making sure that they're connecting and they're developing those relationships there inside in that locker room. Outside on the field, it's spring training, got to get ready, have to stay healthy. But I think it starts in that locker room.
Talking about the offense, I looked at the numbers, and numbers, they don't lie, but I think when you look at bringing in Soto, changes a lot. When you look at the little things that's going to score runs, manufacture runs, stolen bases, do you want to be more aggressive or be more efficient as far as just, doing the little things to win your games?
A little bit of both, You're always looking to get those extra 90 feet. And we got some guys that, whether it's a Lindor, Nemo, who last year, stole a few bases for us. You got a Tyrone Taylor, Jose Siri. We got some guys that can steal bases. And that's going to be part of our game. I think people talk about our lineup and the power and all this, but I like the versatility. I like the fact that not only the balance of the righty-lefty, but we got guys that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. We got guys that can put the ball in play. Having the awareness of the situation, playing baseball, getting a guy over, getting a guy in. And when you got, superstars talking about situational hitting, having the awareness, what the pitcher's trying to do to you. So we got a lot going on offensively. Base running, base stealing is part of that.
Final one from me. What's a position battle that you are looking at right now that you think is one that people should know about as we enter kind of the halfway point of spring?
It's not secret. Our roster is pretty much set. That utility spot, we got few guys, whether it's a Luis Angel Acuna, Brett Beatty, Donovan Walton, so we got guys that are competing for that last spot out of our roster. Bullpen, we still got. We're still early, A lot can happen between now and opening day. But, the last guy, the last two guys, how are we going to go? Whether we want to go with a 5-man out of the gate because of the off days? Are we going to go with a 6-man rotation? So there's a lot of different ways we could go here. But those are basically the two spots that we're looking at.
I love a fun, competitive spring.
100%.
Right?
There's always, it brings the best out of it when you have that healthy competition. And that's what makes these sports fun, And we got a few of them right now that are going through it. And it's good to watch those guys go out there and compete.
Well, that was the manager interview presented by Sage. Now for more on the youngsters and the Mets farm system, Jonathan Mayo.
Thanks very much, Robert. Mets system right at the very top. Really, really good arm. Got some good generations of good pitching here. We're going to get some more of that in a minute. But you've got Brandon Sproat right at the top. Jet Williams, the other top 100 guy in the lineup. Excited to see what he does. Had some injuries last year, so hoping to have a bounce-back season. But right now, we're going to talk pitching. The number one guy on that list, that's Brandon Sproat. And Brandon, one of the great things about being in big league camp is you never know who you're going to run into. And you got a chance to talk to one of the greatest Met pitchers of all time, Dwight Gooden. What was that like?
Oh, incredible. Getting to pick his brain, a guy of that caliber. Back in the day, I've heard many stories of him, but just being able to pick his brain and see what he has to say, that's awesome. That's special.
Yeah, and you're in big league camp for the first time. Last year, you kind of raced through the minors. Did you get a chance to catch your breath at all with each of the stops, 3 stops in all?
Yeah, absolutely. I was able to catch my breath, just take it day by day. And, wherever God leads me, he's going to take me there.
High A, pitched great, dominated in Double A. AAA, little bumps. Probably at the time it wasn't fun as a competitor. I know you are. What were the lessons you took from some of those struggles in AAA that you're looking forward to incorporating this year?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Me and Doc actually just talked about that. He asked me how AAA was, and I mentioned to him, I kind of got away from who I am as a pitcher, and that's trusting my stuff and being the aggressor. I kind of got away from, like I said, being the aggressor. But wise words from Doc Goodman, that's special. And what he said, I'm going to hold dearly and build on that. So,
thanks very much. And Roflo, I know there are questions about the Mets pitching. This guy could help out at any time. Back to you.
Jonathan, thanks. You know, the second annual spring breakout begins March 13th as the top prospects from the Rays and Red Sox can be seen right here on MLB Network. Tune in on March 6th at 11 a.m. to find out which prospects will be participating for each team throughout spring breakout. All right, so just to wrap things up from Mets camp, Cliff, obviously this team, this fan base has a lot of big expectations. Instead of team predictions, let's go specific individual.
Like it.
I'm going to start Clay Holmes. I think he's got a chance to be a real X factor for this rotation. I'm going to say Clay Holmes, 117 innings, an ERA of 3.3.
I like it.
What about you?
You know what? I'm going to go with Pete Alonso. I thought it was huge for them to sign him back just for the length of this lineup. And then also, we know the power's there. So if I said 40 homers, you wouldn't be shocked. But how about 120 plus RBIs? Now that, in my eyes, is a run producer.
Yeah, especially if you got a man like Juan Soto, who's either going to be hitting jacks in front of you or on base while you step into the plate. That's going to do it for Port St. Lucie. For everyone behind the camera, for Cliff Floyd, I'm Robert Flores. Thanks for watching.